Hey friends, it's the Miss Wolfie from our Half Acre Homestead, and today I'm making sauerkraut. Now I had such great luck with the sauerkraut I made in the jar, I've decided to make a much bigger batch. And I'm going to be doing that in my stock pots. This is an old stock pot that had the handle broken, so there are some holes in it. But it'll work just fine because they're stainless. All right, let's get on it. You're going to need cabbage, a bucket or large crock or a stainless steel crock pot or stock pot, and you're going to need some Windsor pickling salt or any salt with no additives. And I almost forgot, you're going to need something to pound your cabbage with, okay? What I've done is I've got several rolling pins, and this one, the handle was bent because it had a wire going down the center. So this is what I'm going to use this for from now on. Now, first things first, we're going to take off the outer leaves. If you want to, if they're good leaves and you want to save them for making some cabbage rolls, I'm just going to get a smaller knife for what the job I want to do next. First things first, I'm going to try and cut the core. Angle your knife in a bit so that your core the knife meets the last knife slice at the bottom. And let's see if we can just get that out of there. Take this leaf. Now we're cooking. Now, I'm going to try. Yeah, Howie's not home or he'd be cutting this cabbage in half for me. But we got it started, so we're good. Now, once I have these cabbages cored and cut in half, I'm going to rinse these in water before I start pounding them. All right, so I'll be back when I have these all rinsed. Okay, so here is 3 of the rinsed heads of cabbage. I haven't even done the 4th one yet because I seem to remember cabbage going a lot farther when it's shredded. And I have my Windsor pickling salt. No additives. It's perfect for this kind of job. And no, they don't pay me to say it. It's just my favorite product to use. So now we get to start grating, salting, and pounding. Let me just cut this in half again. It'll make it easier. It'll make it much easier to shred. And if this actually gets to be too much, I'll get Howie to bring in a 5-gallon pail from the porch, and I'll use it instead of these. I love fresh sauerkraut. And you can always put a spice bag in while it's fermenting of things like caraway seed and stuff, or you can add caraway seed right in, but I'm not fond of it. I just like straight fresh sauerkraut. Okay, so let's put our first 1/4 of a cabbage in here, just like this. Like I said, glass, crockery, or stainless steel or plastic. I wouldn't do this for like with a cast iron maybe or anything else. All right, so now I'm just going to shake about a tablespoon or so. I'll bring you a little bit closer so you can actually see. I'm going to move my tea so I won't spill it. So you can actually see what I'm doing. And then I'm just going to take this and I'm going to start pounding this down and bruising it. Because the salt brings out the water in the cabbage, and you want to pound this enough so that it starts to bring the juice. Like just a tablespoon per layer. The last time I did this in a 5-gallon pail, I had a 5-pound sledgehammer. And I just put a baggie over it, and I had Briar pounding it as I cut it and put it on and pounded it. Now you want to cut it no thicker than a 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch, because you want the cut sides pounded into that with that salt so that it draws the water out of the cabbage, because that's what's going to ferment, is the water we draw out of the cabbage. I like the really densely packed heads of cabbage for this because they are so densely packed. They hold a lot more moisture. But any cabbage will really do. Next time if I see some, you can hear my china cabinet shaking in the background. If I see some red cabbages, I might do some fermented red cabbage this year. All I know is I love sauerkraut on a lot of things. On a corned beef sandwich, on an Oktoberfest sausage. It actually hurts my hand. I'm going to try and hold it a little more loose. I should get Howie just to glue the top handle right on so I could hold it like that. Every once in a while, give it a toss. All right, to turn that cabbage over. All right. I will be back when I have this as full as I can make it without reaching these little holes in the side of the pot. This is what happens, folks, when you come to visit at my house. I put you to bloody work. People have been asking me, oh, I want to come and live with you for a week and learn all this. All they're going to get is put to work, eh, kids?
Right on.
This is terrible. I've been here for 2 days.
Oh, poor Johnny. Okay, so here we go. As you can see, John and Marilyn helped me, and John pounded this down. You want it pounded so that the juice rises above the cabbage. And I'm just going to take one of my plates here, and we're going to push it right down till the juice rises above. And I have a patio stone inside a grocery bag. And we're just going to let this ferment for 14 days.